Hey, what's up guys, it's your girl Alondra coming back at you guys again with another video. As you guys can see by the title, today I will be reading your guys' scary stories. Now I know that you guys have been waiting for a part 2 of my mom's scary stories, but I promise you guys that is coming hopefully by next week. For now, I am going to be reading your guys' scary stories. I was looking at your guys' comments and I saw that many of you had a lot of story times to tell me. A lot of them related to the stories that my mom told you guys in that video. It's kind of crazy knowing that there's so many of you guys out there who have gone through these things or have parents or family members that have gone through the things that my mom went through as a teenager. Promise you guys, part 2 is coming next week. For now, I'm going to be reading your guys' scary stories. I have a scary story that was about 1 year ago. I was at my grandma's house, which is also my aunt's and cousin's house. I was playing with their dog. By the way, this was at night. I accidentally threw the dog's ball into my aunt's room. I didn't go back for it, lol. I don't like entering other people's room without permission. So I went and stood by the table. Then in the corner of my eyes, I saw a little boy, all white, kind of like fading. I got so scared that I started crying. Also, where they live is apartments, and that apartment is pretty haunted. Girl, see, that's what we not gonna do. This is about the apartment. Many years ago, it was night and we were staying the night. When we woke up, my grandma said that she had heard scratching from her bedroom door. Our dogs were in my room, so there's no way that was them. Then another time, there was knocking at night. All the men in the house went to go see. There was nobody, also at night. But this time, someone slept in the living room so they can see who was knocking. Somebody knocked, no one was there. This time, they were all awake. Something knocked, there was no one. They still live there till this day. I've always gotten a scary feeling. Why do they still live there? I don't know why I left my closet door open. I'm gonna close my closet door. I'm gonna leave my door a little bit open so that I can feel a little bit safe. Ew, Loki, that's kind of creepy. Dude, my tia and her friend were walking, and this was in Guatemala, and they heard horses and they were trying to run, but they were stuck in place and they couldn't move. Whoa! Hearing horses is one thing, but being stuck and not being able to move, that's another thing, girl. Nah. See, this is what I don't fuck with. This gave me chills. My dad told me a similar story when he was younger in Mexico. Him and his friend were walking home from a night of drinking, and they saw a random black horse in the road. What's up with horses? Horse, please leave us alone. They thought it would be funny to get on top of it, so they both did, and the minute they got on the horse, started galloping, taking them somewhere, and it looked back at them and its eyes were completely red. They both threw themselves off and started running. He said he could feel the devil when he saw those eyes. No. Before my mom and dad met, my dad was 10 playing with his friends by a bridge in a near forest. A man came up to them and asked, "Can you help with my family?" My dad and friends were scared but willing to help. The man sounded sick and coughing. He pointed down to the river 20 feet down. There we saw a dead baby. What the My dad also saw a bull with glowing red eyes as a child. He was on his way home late one evening, and as he made his way up to the road, a bull came out of nowhere and stopped him in his tracks. Oh my gosh. He said it made noises like it wanted to charge at him. He somehow managed to escape but became inexplicably ill later that evening. Doctors could not explain what was wrong. He lost a lot of weight after, but eventually got better. Oh my gosh, I am praying for your guys' parents. Oh my gosh, you guys already know that my cousin went through that. It's just so crazy knowing like that there's shit like this actually out there. Si viven en Mexico, cuídense. I was 6-7ish and I went to my best friend's house to have a sleepover. I've always had and still do have trouble sleeping, so either I would sleep at 1 to 3 or wake up at 1 to 3. It's rare for me to sleep at night. That night I woke up around 3 to 4. I looked at my friend and saw a black shadowy figure behind her yelling. I can't tell if it was my imagination or real life because I do still see a black figure at my current. I think I should stop reading that because I don't want to get cursed. I have a scary story too. My dad said that his sister, let's say her name is Mary, went on a hiking trip with a group of friends and they stopped under a bridge to sleep at night. Now, why would you do that? Why? See, here in America, well, I don't know where you're from, but here in LA, it's common to go hiking early in the morning, you know, as like a workout, but never sleep out there. My Mexican mom will never let me do that either way. and I'm thankful for that. Okay, anyways, let's continue. They said that later into the night they heard wailing sounds, and apparently if you hear wailing sounds far away, that the Llorona's actually really near you, and if you hear them close, she's far away. Oh, if you hear it from far away, she's actually close, but if it's close, she's far away. But it was near, so they got up to leave, and when she noticed all her friends were gone and that she walked all the way out there herself and she was being controlled. Another story is my sister, called her Victoria, was sleeping and her godmother's Chucky doll. Now, why would you own one of those? The Chucky doll was right next to her looking at her, and she closed her eyes, and when she went back to sleep, she heard footsteps and the doll moved to a different spot. Girl, throw that doll away. Please, can we just abolish all dolls? I keep hearing whistles on my porch at like 3 a.m. when I go outside to smoke. Miss Girl, cleanse your porch. I responded once and said hello, and it said hello back. What spirit is that called? Let me know. I've heard it whistle next to my house more than once. That's no spirit, that's a demon. I remember this time we lived in Santa Ana in a complex with 3 floors. We lived on the 3rd floor, and I was about 5 to 6, and I would sleep with my mom and sister because my dad would be at work, and it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'm a very light sleeper. My mom got off the bed and ran to the restroom, and I followed, and my sister was still sleeping, and I looked at my mom, and she looked like she was choking, but there was nothing there, so I didn't know what was happening or what to do. She was trying to take something off her neck. After 2 minutes she stopped and she went back to her normal self. I'm still scared of what happened since I don't really know what happened, but whenever I ask her if she remembers at night, she tells me it was just a dream, but I know it wasn't. Make sure you're praying for her. Please take care of her. I think you need to move out. There's this one story my brother told me when he had lived in Mexico. So basically there was this one night he came home late because he was playing ball outside with his friends. It had turned pitch black as he walked back home that he could only see shadows, but he knew where he was going. He began to cross the bridge until he suddenly stopped and noticed that there was a girl with an afro at the end of the bridge. My brother thought it was his aunt, since the only person who had an afro in the village was his aunt. Everyone had straight hair, so he greeted his aunt saying hi and to have a nice night. The thing is, she didn't reply, nor did she move. At this point my brother was confused and didn't think much of it, so he continued walking to the end of the bridge. Still she had not moved. As he brushed past her, she just stood there. When my brother came back home, he saw his aunt sitting in the kitchen talking to our grandma and catching up. No. That night he wondered who the girl on the bridge was and wondered why she had stood there and done nothing. I asked if he could see her face, and he replied saying that she was just dark. Like, even as he came closer to the girl, he still couldn't see her clearly. What the fuck? No. My mom once told me that once she was working at Fallas and she went to the bathroom and she looked under to see if anyone was in the stall, and she said that and she left and that the person wasn't in there anymore. Okay, so someone was in the stall, and then when she left, the person wasn't in there anymore, but no one had ever left. That's creepy. This is why I don't really want to get a job, because if they ever tell me like, oh, you're gonna close tonight, no I'm not. You're funny if you think I am. You're really funny. The only thing I'm closing is not my Bible, that's for sure. I'm not closing this store, that's for sure. Baby, you got me effed up if you think I'm gonna close anything, because I'm not closing anything. Nope. Bro, my uncle once said that he was traveling in the dark and he could barely see, and he saw someone in front of him, but they had like a cloth so he couldn't see the person very well. So he got closer and he started to hear mumbling. Then when he was going to touch their shoulder, they disappeared, and after that he said that he was walking backwards to see if the thing was behind him. Ew. There's a time when my mom went to stay at my uncle's house, and that was a long time ago when not even my oldest brother was born. But anyway, she went to stay there. Like one day she was washing the dishes and there is a window in front of her, and when she suddenly saw a kid, and he looked like a 4-year-old, but she saw him in the backyard and she was so confused. But when she went to check who it was, there was no one, and then she was confused, but then she let it slide. And then again in that same day she went to her room and saw the same boy sitting down and covering his face as if he was crying, and she got scared and she went running outside, and later went back in hoping that the kid was gone, and gladly he was. But then weeks or days later she came out pregnant, and it was a boy, and that boy was my older brother. Now you're telling me your mom gave birth to a ghost? Hi, I'm Amelia and I'm from Ecuador. So once I was alone with my mom in our house, then I got scared because something threw a coin at me. Girl, if something threw a coin at me, I would have fucked it up. You should have been like, what's up then? why are you throwing coins at me? But it wasn't my mom. I told her what happened and she made me pray with her. When we were praying El Rosario, we started to hear noises like scratches on the walls, doors, floors. We were standing in front of an altar, a bookshelf, and the bookshelf started shaking, but like real shaking. It moved from one side to another. Ew! Then the door started to open and close. Girl, it's a bookshelf that's possessed. We heard mirror and glass breaking. It was really scary. I said to my mom, Mama, ¿qué está pasando? Mom, what is happening? And my mom replied, cálmate, es el diablo que quiere interrumpir nuestra oración. We kept praying and the noises all of a sudden stopped and the sunlight came down from a window. Then we really felt safe. So oh my gosh, I am so thankful that you guys are okay, and I hope that you guys are still okay till this day. This reminded me of my abuelo. He was a taxi driver in Petlan, Guerrero, and he would always be out late. My mom always said that he would always see this beautiful young girl asking for a lift, and he'd let her in his taxi, and when he looked back through his mirror he would see a night walker. He'd pray and cuss at it, and next thing he knew, the night walker was in front of his taxi and that he would run it over, and when he'd look at the ground, there was nothing on the ground. Nah, that's a whole ass devil. I hope your abuelo is safe now. I hope he is doing well. While I was tucking myself in, I turned around to look at my bedroom door, and then I saw something. Mind you, the front door of my house, the light outside was turned on, so I could see, and the shadow standing at the doorway staring at me. What put me off was that I looked like my brother, so I called out to him to go away and to stop playing around, but it didn't say anything back and just stood there without moving. So at that point I got scared and I tried screaming for my mom, but I was so scared to open my mouth, so I just watched it while it was just standing there. Miss Girl, you're just looking at it like you think it's gonna leave? It knows you're scared, so it's gonna want to stay. You asking for it. So I went under my blanket, my safe heaven, same, and just began praying for God and to let whatever the thing was go away. So once I was done praying, I took my sheets off, but it was still there, so I just wanted to cry at that point because that shit was freaking me out. But in the end, I turned to face the other side, that was the wall, got under my blanket and went to sleep, knowing it was still staring at me. Miss Girl, okay, well, that's it for the stories. I am honestly kind of freaked out because I am alone in my room, and every time I go live on TikTok and I tell you guys scary stories, a lot of scary things are going on in my room. We gonna ignore that. I don't get scared easily, but when I do get scared, I get like really scared, and it's like really bad. If you try to scare me like with the jump scare, it's not gonna work. Like that's why whenever I go to the movie theaters with my friends to go watch scary movies, they're like, Alondra, warn me when there's gonna be a jump scare. And thank you guys for telling me these stories. Shout out to all my Mexicans out there, my Latinx fam. Yo vivo en Los Ángeles, California. Yo no vivo en México. Mi mamá no me deja ir a México. Aquí nací en los Estados Unidos y siempre que le pregunto a mi mamá que si puedo ir a México, ella siempre me dice que no, pero ahora sé por qué no me quiere dejar ir a México, pero todavía quiero ir porque la verdad yo no me asusto fácilmente. Para la semana que entra voy a hacer un parte 2 de las historias de mi mamá con mi mamá. I'm so sorry that your families have gone through these things and that you guys yourselves have gone through these things. I hope that none of you ever have to go through these things again, and if you do, hit me up. You know what? I am literally one comment away. I read all your comments, so don't be afraid to comment on my YouTube video or DM me on Instagram, because I promise you, even if I don't answer, I see your comment and I see your message. I tend to reply back to my Instagram messages, so if anything ever happens to you guys, text me, okay? I will be right there. I'm kind of scared to end this. I feel like when I end this, something's gonna happen. I'll keep y'all updated. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Yeah, no ghost wants to come in here because they're like, this bitch is a K-pop stan, get her the fuck away from me. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the part 2 with my mom next week. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys for all the love and support. By the way, we hit 5K subscribers and we hit my first 100K views. Thank you guys so much. Okay, I love you guys.